Welcome to Touchline Editorial. So we are going to have a discussion about Enzo Maresca. Finally, he has left Chelsea. I had this discussion in my previous video about Enzo Maresca, saying that surely from the comments he passed after the Everton game, also looking at what was going around, I wasn't tipping him ending the season at Chelsea. And even if he's going to end the season, he's not still going to be there for Chelsea next season. And it has happened. So I'm not surprised about him leaving. But everything happened in October. I'm going to break it down for you. Don't forget, we are in a new year. What you can do to help this show is like, subscribe, and also be part. Let us know in the comment section what you feel about this show. And at the end of the show, we'll give you every information you need to know about Enzo Maresca, why he left Chelsea, and what is the new way for Chelsea and also the new way for Enzo Maresca. Remember, this show is brought to you by MyBet.Africa. You need to scan the QR code on the screen and join the MyBet.Africa platform. It's one of the best betting platforms in the country, a truly Ghanaian platform. So you need to be part and support an own company so that we can push it so high. Let's go into the issue. Everything started in October. And why I'm saying everything started in October is in October, Enzo Maresca signed with Josh Mendes, who is a super agent. We know Josh Mendes being the agent for Cristiano Ronaldo, João Felix, and some other great players. The moment he signed for him, there were demands. There were a lot of things coming in for Josh Mendes, Enzo Maresca, especially leading this Chelsea team. And we shouldn't all forget, after winning the Conference League, after winning the FIFA Club World Cup, it showed that, yes, Maresca is up there with some of the top coaches. He was in the FIFA Best Awards. He was also in the Ballon d'Or Awards. That shows that he's there with some of the top coaches. But what happened is Chelsea, going into this season, had some additions. And with these additions, we shouldn't forget, we had Liam Delap, Alejandro Garnacho, Gittins being some players that were rumored that Enzo Maresca was part of the negotiation, especially bringing these players to Chelsea. And we've seen a lot of people complaining that Chelsea are going through some particular route of bringing young players in and not giving the coach the flexibility to bring in experience or quality in some level to help improve the squad. But I think Maresca had this project lined in front of him before he signed for Chelsea. And we all know that the moment he signed for Chelsea, he said that this Chelsea squad, he has sat down to analyze the team, looked at their strength and their difficulties, and he's looking at coming into this team. This is one of the best squad he's going to come into, and he's going to build them and become one of the best. But we are seeing a different scenario as of now. What really happened is this. He said in the Everton game that in the 48 hours before that particular game, he had one of his worst 48 hours with the Chelsea board or the Chelsea hierarchy. And it was about they questioning about his substitution, they questioning about his player selection and his rotation. And I think if you are looking at games Chelsea have lost this season, basically it's more on the manager. From the Carabao game, Sunderland, Brighton, Leeds United, Atlanta, some games that they lost was basically on the manager. So you get your board, your sporting director, the higher hierarchy, questioning what you are doing as a manager, because they are looking at you being that manager, they are looking at helping them improve their squad. So now let's go into the real deal of what really happened. So with this, we know that everything started after they started questioning him on his results, questioning him on his rotation, and questioning him on some of the things that are happening in the Chelsea team. But going forward, people were saying that Maresca was looking at having enough power, in quote, to try and make decisions or be part of the team, which I think wasn't that, the scenario wasn't around that, because Maresca, after winning the FIFA Club World Cup, was basically part of the transfers being made. And if Chelsea fans wouldn't forget, you should remember when Maresca joined Chelsea, he took Sterling out of his team because of one issue he had with Sterling. The club supported him by taking Sterling's number and even giving to, that is Pedro Neto, who joined the club as at that time. He told them Chaluba wasn't fitting into his system. Chaluba was taken out of his squad and traveled to the USA. Petrovic was one player who also suffered from Enzo Maresca's decision on planning and systems, where he was also taken from the club. And Chelsea went in and brought in Philip Jorgensen into the team. Ben Chilwell, who was the assistant captain for Chelsea as at that time, Maresca also said he wasn't fitting into his system. He was also frozen out of the squad for 6 months. He went to Crystal Palace for another 6 months on loan, and now he went to Strasbourg this season for another loan spell. So the club, some way, somehow, has supported Maresca all through this time. So looking at the scenarios that I've mentioned, the club supported him all through this time because they felt like giving him a 5-year contract, they are looking at him developing these boys and also reaching the highest limit that he could take the club to, because they believed in his system. They believed in his knowledge of the game, and they felt that he could take them out there. But I think everything changed, as I said, when he signed with that is Josh Mendes, because Josh Mendes is one agent that demands a lot, especially for his players, for his managers, for anybody he's managing. And I think that brought in the idea of, now there were rumors for Manchester City that Enzo Maresca will be the successor for that is Pep Guardiola. There were rumors coming from Italy that Juventus, some clubs in Italy are looking at bringing in Enzo Maresca. So the conversation was more about, okay, I want to have a lot of control in this team. If I'm not looking at having a lot of control, then maybe I'm looking at leaving. We saw a tweet saying, which some will be displayed on the screen, that he had a discussion with the Chelsea team, letting them know that he's in contact with some teams like Manchester City and a whole lot of things. So a lot of Chelsea fans are against this whole scenario that the Chelsea board, the Chelsea hierarchy, the sporting directors are not doing the right thing. They are putting these coaches into problems, especially with this young squad. They are changing coaches. This will be the sixth coach joining or the fifth coach joining for Chelsea. And looking at this, in my basic editorial breakdown, I think Maresca just felt like he has been able to develop enough with Chelsea. And if he's not going to be given what power he's looking out for, as is being said, then he's willing to leave. Because if it was about player transfer, we are in January, he could have presented that, okay, I need another centre-back, I need another player in this role, I need another player in this role, then let's improve the squad and build it to maybe win the Champions League, win the Premier League, or win any cup competition. So basically, it wasn't about he wanting enough players or trying to improve the squad. The main idea was there were rumors of other clubs chasing him, and as of now, I have a feeling that there are conversations behind closed doors with him and Manchester City. If he is to stay to the end of the season and Manchester City are coming in, meaning Chelsea would request for an amount, and Chelsea are going to request for a 25, a 30 million to a 40 million to release Maresca to Manchester City, which is going to be a big problem for Manchester City to pay that much money to get Enzo Maresca. So if he's to force his way out, then what happens? He gets the chance to now move to Manchester City for free. And that is something basically I think Maresca and his agents were trying to push through. So you could see for the last 48 hours, 24 hours, this thing has been escalating on the differences between Enzo Maresca and Chelsea. And this has brought a lot of concerns. But from my side, everybody has their share to play. The board has their share to play. Enzo Maresca has their share to play. And from the board side, I think, yes, experience is needed in this team. But looking at Chelsea's squad as of now, there are players who have played enough football. There are World Cup winners in the team. There are national team players in the team. Needing experience in this team is not that call about the age-wise. It's that call about people who have played and experienced how tough, how hard some games are, visiting some grounds that are going to be very difficult for you as a player and for you as a team. That is what they need to bring in. So there are some players Chelsea should have been looking for in adding this January. Another centre-back, maybe another left winger to help the likes of Garnacho and Gittins. But that is for the board to handle. If they are going to go in for a new coach, what decision are they looking at taking? Are they looking at, with this Maresca situation, they'll be bringing in a new coach and now giving him what he needs to be able to improve his squad, or they'll be going with their old style? On the Maresca side, some Chelsea fans are backing him because they have a scenario about the board. They don't like the way they are running the team and a whole lot of things. But I think he sold them out from his selections to what he has been doing. We've been seeing conversations about him protecting Esteban against Barcelona. The boy was that top in that game. He was the man of the match in the game. And moving on, he was being benched. After the Barcelona game, he never played any 90 minutes in the Premier League or in any other competition. That was something that was an eye-opener for some of the board. And even if it's me, I would question you, because this is a young chap who has come into the Premier League. He has played in the Brazilian League, played too well against tougher defenders, aggressive defenders in the South American League. Why can't he play in the Premier League? The likes of Lamine Yamal, Michael Olise weren't protected like this. They were given the chance to go onto the pitch, make mistakes, learn and develop. That is why we are seeing them at this top level. You can't overprotect players. That would reduce them, make them feel that they will lose confidence and not perform well. So looking at Maresca, he has a lot of problems he couldn't solve, and the inexperience on the side played a bigger role. After that conversation in that Everton game, made it more obvious that he's throwing himself out. If they like, they should sack him. If they are not sacking him, he's looking at leaving. And he felt that this was the right time. And I think if you are in support of Maresca, then you should analyze this whole situation and look at where it's coming from. The board never utter word that they were going to sack Maresca if the performance doesn't go well in January. Never. They were looking at assessing him at the end of the season, and they knew that he would come good at the end of the season. That is why they gave him a 5-year contract. But as of now, there was a mutual agreement between both sides. The club is looking at, we can't go back and forth with you, especially if your head is not with the Chelsea team, because your head is now outside. There are bigger jobs out there he's looking at handling. But I think Maresca needs to also look at this. Chelsea needs to also look at this, especially in their new manager signing. And this is going to play a bigger role, because there are some Chelsea fans that are divided as of now. Some are looking at the board, that is Todd Bowley, Egbali, they are not doing their work right. That is why most managers are finding their way out. Some are also looking at it from the aspect that Maresca just left because there is a bigger opportunity for him to go in. So with these two things, it's going to be a very difficult issue. Now there are names coming up, like the likes of Xavi Hernandez, Oliver Glasner. We've seen the likes of Cesc Fabregas. The recent one, which is the most popular, which may happen, is the Liam Rossignol. That is one coach from Strasbourg, a sister club of Chelsea, which they are looking at bringing him in. We are going to later analyze these 4 coaches, and bring you more details about it. But let me know, what do you think about this Maresca issue? Do you think it's the board, or Maresca just left this Chelsea team he was building down to just go and pursue other things? And also, with these managers we've listed, let me know which of the managers you think would help Chelsea. And in our next subsequent video, we are going to break down on their tactics, on what they would bring to Chelsea and how they will develop this Chelsea team. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share your comments so that this channel can grow.